Tonight on WBOC News at 6.
I'm Paul Butler.
And I'm Steve Hammond. We're covering all of Delmarva tonight.
In Worcester County, moments before the crime, exclusive footage of this man buying gas and a gas can that will be used in the fire that killed 2 people minutes later.
The pastor killed in that Ocean City church fire yesterday morning. What those who knew Reverend David Dingwall have to say about the man he was.
It's going to be cold and windy tonight, and yes, we may see some snowflakes. But what about Thanksgiving? I'll show you why you'll need a coat in a few minutes.
That delicious Thanksgiving meal just one day away. What we can all be thankful for in tonight's Travels with Charlie.
Now, WBOC News at 6, Delmarva's news leader.
Chilling footage you will only see on WBOC of a man who just purchased a small gas can and gasoline and is walking to an Ocean City church to set both himself and the church on fire. Good evening, I'm Paul Butler.
And I'm Steve Hammond. Welcome to WBOC News at 6.
Yeah, the Ocean City Fire Department has identified 56-year-old John Sterner as the man behind the church fire yesterday morning. That fire killed 2 people and left another seriously injured.
One of the 2 who died was Reverend David Dingwall of St. Paul's by the Sea Episcopal Church. Tonight, WBOC has obtained exclusive footage of the man behind the crime just moments before it took place. WBOC's Bill Mitch got that exclusive footage this afternoon. He joins us live from in front of that church. And Bill, your footage shows Sterner purchasing the gas and the gas can he would use to set himself and the church on fire.
Steve, today Ocean City police said that John Sterner entered the church on fire, and the fire on him quickly spread through the building. And police also said they believe that an accelerant was used to start this fire. Well, in the footage that we obtained, it shows Sterner buying the gas just blocks away and minutes before he made it to St. Paul's. You can see here in the upper left-hand side of your screen, John Sterner, identified by the man who gave WBOC this footage. The man says he has known Sterner for many years. Sterner walks through the pump area and heads into the gas station. According to the man who supplied the footage, Sterner has visited here many times. A few moments later, a man holds the door open for Sterner, who comes out with a gas can in hand. Sterner heads to the pump, sets the can down, and begins to fill it up. After he finishes filling the can, Sterner picks it up and walks into the gas station with the can. He emerges a few moments later and walks casually through the lot in the direction of St. Paul's by the Sea Episcopal Church. The church is only a few blocks away, and the death walk began. Minutes later, the church on fire. Police say Sterner set himself on fire, entered the church, and caused this scene. The fire killed Sterner and Reverend David Dingwall. And for the fire also left another woman in this church in critical condition. Now, as for the church itself, crews have boarded up doors and windows and have begun the grim task of cleaning up this tragic scene. Live in Worcester County, Bill Mitch, WBOC News, Ocean City.
We did some digging on John Sterner and found out he's been arrested quite a few times on a number of different charges. Now, that's according to the Maryland Judiciary case search. Sterner's been arrested for crimes such as burglary, assault, down to having open bottles of alcohol. He's been arrested for public intoxication, other times for possession of marijuana and drug paraphernalia, and also for breaking and entering. Now, again, that's all according to the Maryland Judiciary case search. Now that we know a little more about the man the fire department says started the fire, let's turn our attention to the other man who died in that fire, the Reverend David Dingwall. Of course, he started his ministry at the church in October of 2005 and has been an important part of the parish ever since. With more on who the Reverend was, WBOC's Denise Sawyer joins us live in Ocean City tonight. Denise, certainly a sad day for the entire town of Ocean City.
Paul, it most certainly is. Instead of worshiping and praying at this church for their usual Thanksgiving Eve worship service, church members are mourning the loss of their pastor. Reverend Penny Molo is devastated. Her pastor, David Dingwall, is dead. Her church was set on fire, and a guy apparently behind it all. Ocean City police say lit himself on fire before setting her church on fire.
It's horrible. Of course, it's horrible. It all happened so fast, though. I don't know.
Merlot takes us back to that tragic Tuesday morning. She says Father David was in the kitchen when a church member yelled up to Father David to get out of the building.
Don disconnected the hard drive from the office and ran out thinking that David was right behind him.
He wasn't, and Molo says he was trapped inside this burning building. Firefighters rushed in to pull his body from the flames, but church officials say he died from injuries he sustained in the fire.
Just tried to figure out what comes next, where, how we deal with our grief and our sorrow, how to reach out to Brenda and the boys.
Father David lived in Snow Hill with a wife and 3 sons. Reverend Merlo says Father David had a contagious laugh.
He had a wonderful sense of humor. It was just so much fun to make him laugh. Yeah.
Minister Mary Jo Dean says Father David was a mentor, role model, and a friend.
So when I needed a break, I would go and hang out with David because he always had something fresh to say.
Church members say they may have lost their pastor, but they have not lost their love for this church. Father David also volunteered as a chaplain at the Atlantic General Hospital in Berlin. Reporting live in Worcester County, Denise Sawyer, WBOC News, Ocean City.
Father David Dingwall was part of the Episcopal Diocese of Easton. People there say his passing really hits home. Bishop James Shand says David had a distinct personality and was loved by his fellow preachers as well as his parishioners.
David was the kind of priest that you want to have in your diocese, who was engaged, compassionate, was a leader, committed, all the things that I look for in a parish priest.
So many people today have commented on his sense of humor and his laugh. Another interesting side note, David Dingwall was a big fan of orange Croc shoes and was known for wearing them beneath his robes in Ocean City.
Now, the loss of the pastor has certainly shocked the Ocean City community. Let's listen to what some locals had to say.
I was so sad last night, just praying for everyone. The pastor, the loss of the pastor it's just beyond sadness.
It's eerie. It's a sad feeling. It's an emotional feeling. It's one that you just look and like, how could something like this happen? How could something in Ocean City like this happen?
And the entire community, and I know I speak for the mayor and council, we feel terrible about this. It's a loss very close to us, right across the street from City Hall. But we are a resilient community, and we do help each other here in Ocean City.
Again, local reaction to the fire in Ocean City.
A reminder that St. Peter's Lutheran Church in Ocean City is hosting a community prayer service in just a little while, scheduled to start tonight at 7 o'clock. Again, St. Peter's Lutheran Church, which is on 103rd Street in Ocean City.
Moving on to our other top story of the night, the weather. It's been nothing but rain all day for most of Delmarva. So what's next? Checking now with Chief Meteorologist Dan Satterfield. Dan, a lot of folks traveling tonight. What can they expect on the roads?
Yeah, the roads are not too bad right now, Paul. The winds are rather gusty out there. They'll stay that way, but we're beginning to dry out. Take a look at triple track Doppler. Still have that gale warning in effect for most of the area. That will probably last for much of the night. Not much showing up on the radar, though. Most of the rain now off to the east. There is a snow rain line, though, just around the Philadelphia area, but you know what? There's just not much snow on the backside of that, so it's probably not going to be a big deal. I can't rule out a wet snowflake tonight. It just keeps getting colder, though. 37 in Dover, 39 in Salisbury, Ocean City at 38, winds out of the northwest at 20, gusting to 30. Tomorrow's going to be a cold Thanksgiving, blustery in the morning, but the winds die down in the afternoon. But if you're going to walk off that turkey dinner, you're going to need a coat and a hat. Highs only in the 30s. We'll talk about the rest of the weekend coming up.
And here's an update on regional airports for folks flying for Thanksgiving. In the Washington area, Reagan National Airport is experiencing moderate delays. Dulles has low delays. Philadelphia experiencing excessive delays. BWI has only a few delays at this time. In Norfolk, there are also moderate delays. No delays right now in Salisbury. Tonight, a lot of folks, maybe even you, starting on that Thanksgiving meal for tomorrow. In tonight's Travels with Charlie, giving thanks for the land we live on.
Some weather video of berries showing up on a holly bush. Yep, the holidays are here. Winter not far behind. Dan has a full Thanksgiving weekend forecast.
Speaking of holidays, Hanukkah begins tonight. How one Jewish community in Dover is celebrating. That story is next, but first, the people, the places, our history.
WBOC is proud to serve all of Delmarva. Here's meteorologist Mike Litzniak.